Ooh. Hello. Oh my. It looks different. I don't, maybe it's usually farther down, or I'm closer up, or I don't know. Maybe it's just this YouTube interface. All right, so after much delay and whatnot, book club is backish. So we are on part 30 of our journey through Weedwife's Remedy. I was hoping to finish this book this year, but it doesn't look like we're going to. I'm sorry, I've just been going through a lot. I've got a full-time job, and this is the first time I've worked one in 10 years, and I have a chronic illness, so it's been really, really, really hard. And everything else. So I'm hoping that people join us today, but I understand if everybody sort of doesn't show up because there's been so much switching around in the schedule and everything else. So we'll see. I actually don't know where I am, but my bookmark is on page 137. So if you have the book, I'm just going to start sort of in the middle of the page. And I do have a discussion question for everyone to think about. And I think I asked this last time, but it's been a while. So, of course, if you're just watching this not in real time, it'll be the last episode you saw. But anyway, so how does herbalism encourage us to be ourselves? Which is a very important question. It's a hard thing to figure out what's best for us and do that, even if it feels like congruence to what you think the demands of what society wants, what our culture wants, what maybe like our obligations want. So it's, I'm kind of struggling with that myself. And also like my expectations of what like I can do, because I have an illness and I can only do so much. I can't do what a lot of other people can do. So, and I really, really been exploring that while working full time. And, probably come to the conclusion that I can't work full time at this job, and that at some point I will be working part-time, and then I will be going back to school. But I do have two things finally to explore, and hopefully those things will allow me to work and make money and maybe contribute to this world. But anyway, it was really hard to come to that realization and everything else, because I want to do what everyone else in my work is doing and everything else. But it's and there's a trade-off in money, because this job pays really well. I've got really good hazard pay. So to go back down to like a part-time, it doesn't pay as well. It's difficult. Okay, so that's a ramble, but yeah, so how does herbalism encourage us to be ourselves? The nature of herbalism and sort of the root of herbalism. So So yes, I'm on page 139 and I'm just going to start reading. And welcome to everyone who is here. Thank you for joining me. If you're not, part of our Facebook group, please sign up. I have a link at the bottom in the description, and you can follow along. So I've learned the hard way that while I am technically capable of working as an office-based clinician, everything in me rebels at the idea of regular hours, being trapped in a small room, and being expected to interact with in a cookie-cutter medical mold. I'm grateful for the many transformations my practice has taken over the last 16 years. But I'm also grateful for having fully learned what I am and what I am not. I'll underline that, that's the question. So that's important, what you are and what you are not. In fairy tales, runaway girls and lost boys wander the wild world to speak with selkies and tree people, are sheltered by blue-skinned hags and goatmen, and are told secrets that save their lives by glowing flowers and poisonous toadstools. In the stories, the not-so-distant past, we are not so separate in the natural world, and the pressures of trauma and danger drove us more quickly to that liminal place where our language and theirs overlap and merge into something ancient, necessary, and still wild. In the beginning, I simply wanted to be an herbalist. Even though I had not yet understood what that meant in modern-day America, even to me personally, what I did know was that in my imaginings, it was already implied that a healer who works with the green world, who acts as a bridge between one species and the next, would not necessarily be a normal person. And I think because of the nature of herbalism, which is talking about, it's kind of difficult to sort of function of what we consider as normal. How you just sort of find yourself. I was the last person I interviewed for my interview series, Stories from the Earth. And if you're interested, I have a link. If you go to my YouTube channel, I've got a playlist. It's called Stories for the Earth, and I'm interviewing herbalists. If you're an herbalist and want to get interviewed, please contact me. Or just want to talk about herbs, and herb enthusiast, someone who's learning, down for an hour or so chat. Oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought. Yep, completely on. Sorry, guys. Dang it. That sucks. Okay. I was talking to her about something and it just went right in my head. Hopefully I'll remember. My understandings of healers of many cultures was that, yeah. Okay, so we were talking about, hi, Heather. I'm glad you could make it, even though I've changed the day and the schedule a jillion times. Yes, hi. I've just worked 6 days. Oh, yes. At least I have a whole weekend this weekend. So, yes, I'm totally beat. But anyway, so we were talking about how herbalists are kind of herbal matchmakers, and we match up the people with the herbs. So we're sort of like this weird facilitator in that. It was really, really cute way to describe what an herbalist does. I was just eating lunch, so I made it. Oh, chicken soup. Nice. Good call. I've been eating a lot of soup too, like veggie soup with rice and occasionally some chicken and vegetables, and then I like to put flax seeds in it, so like it makes it kind of like a cream of soup. So yikes, 6 days is a long one. It is. It was a mandatory thing, so which is very hard for me. And then there were like people at my work signing up. Some people worked like extra because there's extra overtime that they can volunteer for. So some people worked 6 10-hour days. I was like, y'all, I'm dying with 6 8-hour days. So yeah, it's been tough. I was determined to make it for, you know, an hour today. So never add flax seeds. We'll try that to my subs. Yeah, it gets all mucilaginous. So it's like a thick. You can use it as a thickener, and it kind of adds a little bit of a nutty flavor. It works really well. I literally just throw it in and microwave it. So I think if you put it in your next soup, I think that would be great. Like if it was cooked over a stove or something. I get ground. They're finely ground flax seeds. So yeah. And if you need a little more fiber or mucilage, it's really good. Just eat them all the time, every day. So yeah. So you can think about that. Like we're herbalists bring, you have the herb and the person, and we sort of match them up as matchmakers. So it was a really fun bit, and the really so my understanding of the healers of many cultures was that sometimes what is commonly termed mental illness, whether inborn or trauma-induced, could actually be of benefit when mending the wounds of others. My dreams were populated with the visions, with the ominous yet wise vestige of Russia's fierce hag Baba Yaga, as well as the graceful silhouette of Ireland's healing goddess Bridget. I was looking for what I saw as a lost archetype of fierceness and otherness wrapped up in a deep experiential relationship with place and other than human species, for a way of contributing to the health of humans while staying rooted in the wildness of the land and plants. I think I only have whole, but I can still try it. You can, yeah. I think it would work. Or you can, if you have a coffee grinder, you can like grind them. Or some people do that. They like to just grind theirs fresh because they said that the finely ground goes bad really fast. I don't find that true, but who knows where they're keeping their flax seeds, you know? So yeah, I think they're if you have a grinder, you could grind them. And so I'm on page 140. I think that's actually where we left off, but it's okay to reread some. So yeah, the question is, again, how does herbalism encourage us to be ourselves? I have a few others from the beginning of this chapter. How do you practice herbalism? What kind of herbalist are you? What do you bring to the table? What are your herbal strengths? So that's a lot of questions, but if anyone wants to answer any of those, or just something for everyone to think about. Even though that was from earlier. So last time was oh no, I'm sorry, I got a little upset about no one showing up, and I think I was just in a very sensitive place, and usually that's okay. I understand, and usually I'm fine, but usually we have a few people, so I don't know, I was just in a very vulnerable place, and it just really upset me more than it usually does, because I understand how the internet works and everything else, and I appreciate everyone who comes. I really do. There have been few things in my life I have fallen into headfirst with little regard for consequence or effect. Being of a wary and vigilant nature, I tend to watch situations and people from the outside for a good long while before investing myself in any degree. And even then, I rarely commit myself to a cause or purpose for any length of time. My curiosity calls me to explore an idea or experience before I retreat back to the edge of the woods to watch from a distance yet again. Not me. Sometimes I just jump right in. And I'm like, oops, that was a can of worms that I didn't want to open. Like going into working full time. I wasn't expecting that. But I learned a lot. So that's important. Plants were always, so how is everybody today? I hope everyone is doing well. It is going to be the second night of Hanukkah for anyone who celebrates Hanukkah. And it's almost that Christmas time, so, or that Yule time. So yeah, it's that holiday time. Sensitivity can overwhelm us. Yes. Yeah, it can. Definitely. And I'm definitely like, I can be overwhelmed really easily, and I think it's just something to be aware of. Yeah. Woohoo holiday. Yes, Heather. Yes, I get some days off. Woo. Woo. So, but yeah, so just on a personal note, my two things that I'm trying to decide whether to go to school for are graphic design and acupuncture. So we'll see. Working all the time isn't fun. No, it's not. It's too difficult. It is. It's real hard. So, I mean, it depends on what you do. And I think that, like, if I worked sort of more of a non-traditional job, like, I could do more work, and it would be better. So that's what I'm going to endeavor to do eventually. I mean, but at least I can start on the path, right? Even if it takes me like until I'm 60 or something. At least I've started and I'm on a direction and everything else. So hopefully it won't take me that long. But, and I'll have to go slow with school too because I can't do it full out. So yeah. So plants, I've worked 2 jobs for 8 years, then totally broke down. Yeah. Yeah, because it's, I mean, our culture is a culture of like too much. We're expected to go over our limit. And I think that really gets internalized with everybody. And then everyone starts like, falling apart because of stress. And you're just like, I can't do it anymore. So that's what happened to me too. So yeah, I can't do it anymore. So, yeah. it's a real issue on top of all the other ones. More. Yeah. No, I can't. So I'm gonna go as far as I can go, and then my body starts pushing back, and it's been really grumpy at me. So I've been trying to make some adjustments and everything else. All right, last paragraph on 140. Plants were always different. It was easy for me to fall in love with their delicately venerated leaves and twirling roots, to give myself up to the sweet scent of Russian sage on a warm summer wind, or the touch of a gold-flecked cottonwood leaf tumbling from the sky as it fell into the river. After more than a decade of practice, the plants are so tangled up in my physiology and psychology that not a day goes by that I don't have at least one tincture bottle or twist of root in my belt pouch. I can't walk or drive anywhere without looking for familiar or new friends springing from dirt or concrete. My orientation in the world is based on whether roots meet earth and where blossoms meet sky, so that the micro horizon has become my map into the waking world of humans from the depths of other mind, depths of my very other mind. Other is in italics. Medical plants and fungi give me much needed portal through to which to communicate with other people in a way that matters and connects us past what stilted speech could ever accomplish. It's not worth it, except that financial struggles are real. Yeah, I know. Learning to accept that I need to live with less. Yes, that is what my friend and I talked about last week. A very good friend. Fungi are so generous. Yes. I can't eat them though, but yes, they're so cool. Yeah. I want to do it all, and I can't. And basically, yes, learning to live with less. But you still have to afford clothes and food and stuff. So somehow you have to find a solution for that, and I think that is the challenge. So a way for me to work and live and have enough money, whereas I'm not because if you go along you're pushing yourself, you're just gonna keel over. So so that's not good either. Anyway, why not fungi? They just disagree with me. They make my stomach upset. So I don't know. Because mushrooms are really good for your immune system. So during the beginning of the coronavirus, I was trying to do some mushrooms, but I just couldn't do it. So that's why. So healthy, nutritious food and some form of joy. Yes, exactly. And then trying to rest and everything else. So yeah. All right. I'm gonna get a background one day, which would be really nice. So I just have to pick it out. You won't be able to see my kind of messy living room. Oh, thank you. Hug you to Heather. All right, so we're on page 141 of our book, in case anyone new has joined us. Plants have the ability to change the way we perceive the world, the way we experience life through our senses, and even how we think and interact. Not just the overtly mind-altering plants that humans tend to get so fixated on, don't we all? You have a background? I'm getting one. It's gonna be I need, yeah, it'll be like a piece of material with like some plants on it. There's some really nice ones. And then I'll have like 2 like standy things to hold it up so that it'll just be here, and it'll look real nice when I'm live on the computer. So, I mean, it'll be a little more professional. So, I mean, this is the reality, the little mess when you have, but you know, I figured it would be cool. Plants have the ability to change the way we perceive the world, the way we experience life through our senses, and even how we think and interact. Not just the overtly mind-altering plants that humans tend to get so fixated on, but all of them. So yeah, that's a good point. Reality is good too. It is. Thank you. Yes. I think it'd be good too for my Stories for the Earth interviews. You know, do a little more professional. Maybe we can just still be all down and dirty and real here at the old book club, where we just let everything hang out. So yeah, you know, everyone gets so excited about like the plants that make you hallucinate. You know, or anything else, like the more of the drug-like plants, which I think, you know, probably have their time and place. But I definitely feel like definitely all the other ones, even though they're not as flashy, have this ability to have us look at things in a different way, which is really cool. So it's just all right. So we have 5 people watching. What plant are you guys growing, taking as a tea, interested in learning about right now? So what plant are you really interested in? What herb? Anything that you know, maybe you break out during the holiday times, it's a little more stressful. Yeah, just what are you guys Herbalism allows us to choose what we love and what to focus on. It does. It gives us practice, doesn't it? Yeah. For this whole other part of our lives that we were just talking about, Heather, with the job and the money and all the other stuff. Yeah, I agree. So I am, what herb am I doing? Well, so I got oats. I got oat straw or oats in I've been doing it in glyceride, which is a non-alcoholic tincture, because that's all I could really get. And I read somewhere that like oat worked better in an alcoholic tincture, and also alcohol is just better for me than the glyceride because it's soy-based, which I have a little bit of issues with. So I got it today, and I took it just straight up, and doesn't taste as yummy as the glycerate. You could just drink that shit. But I just realized, like a couple minutes later, I was like, man, I really feel it. Like I felt like all nice and calm, and like I just like that is it's been a while since I've like felt like that immediate effect. So anyway, so that's my experience with oats. Let's see, Heather, I'm like working nice herbs into my cooking. Yes, did strain my fire starter today. Nice. Here doesn't see. Hello, how are you? The herb I'm currently growing, cilantro. Ooh, yummy. That's a good one. Anything anyone's interested in like learning about for like next year? I'm not sure for me. My life is so up in the order crazy right now, but I'm sure one will come along. Oh, and green onion. Those are two yummies. I went through a period of time where I hated cilantro, and then something happened, and now I love it. I haven't had it in a really long time, but I used to eat tons of it. So awesome. My soup, thyme, parsley, garlic, dried ginger, and chilies. That sounds really good. Oh man. That's really good. So I think basically oats, just taking it as a tincture, it's nice and grounding, relaxing. And then I'm doing Tulsi as a tea. So I'm doing I was being kind of lazy and doing like tea bags, which you don't get hardly anything. So I switched to loose. So I've been doing there's 3 types of Tulsi basil tea, and Mountain Rose had 2 of them, and so I got 2 of them, and they all smell kind of different, which is fun. And I do an infusion. Usually it's basically I make a jar of it and I just like infuse it for like a couple hours and then drink a cup and then like leave it in the refrigerator so it sort of keeps infusing. So I don't know how long I infuse it in. I would say 8 hours if anyone wants to know, and then strain it. If anyone wants to do that. But yeah, Tulsi is really good. It's an adaptation for like stress and stuff. So it's very calming to my brain. So I want to do some oat straw and nettle infusions. Yes, do it. I would put some honey in it too because it's really lovely. What does Tulsi taste like? So you doesn't see it tastes. So it's got a tiny. It's like a basil. It's a tiny basil quality. I would say it tastes. Yeah, thank you. Fruity and a bit spicy. Yes. A tiny bit earthy. Like a tiny bit in there. You can sort of taste where they get that basilish. So yeah, I really like it. My husband does not like it. Oh no, you're out of honey. That's a tragedy. Get some more honey. So yeah, nettle and oat straws are really, really good to do on like a daily basis. And so because nettle's got all those vitamins and things in there. Those are like one of the two main like tonic herbs that Susan Weed recommends. I just think nettle tea is yummy with honey in it though. So yeah, iridescent. I would you can get tea bags of it, and I would just like use, I don't know, put 3 in a cup and then just cover it and let it steep for a while, and then you can sort of get the taste of like a like a loose leaf infusion, a long infusion of it. So, yeah. It's pricey. It's like $6 or $7 for like a box of maybe 12. But yeah, I find it immediately helpful. And a lot of the adaptogens are roots. They use the root, and this is the one where you use like the aerial parts. So it's really easier to make because roots you have to do like a decoction and all that stuff. So Astragalus Root. Yes. Nice. That's quite a soup, Heather. Heather's also working yeah, I think Astragalus, that's good for, I think it's good for like colds and stuff. So you're gonna do well. You got your fire cider and your Astragalus and your ginger and garlic and soup. That's good. Yeah. I know that like I'm really glad that you're able to do that for yourself, Heather. I'm loving mints and chamomile with honey. Ooh, that would be tasty. Mm-hmm. Yeah, loving. All right. Plant. Let's see. Even the gentlest herbs, a slip of lady's mantle tea, or a few drops of rabbit tobacco tincture, have the ability to tug at the corners of reality and reshape how we see and feel. To me, this is magic, but it is also the everyday practice of herbalism and a skill to cultivate in even the newest herbal enthusiast. I've been getting it all going, trying to take control of my health again. I've been slacking. Mint tea is soothing. Yes, it is, Heather. Yes. Well, it's hard. It's hard to keep. It feels like everything else wants us not to take care of ourselves. So it's hard. But I think if you just try, and it sounds like you are, so I mean, cookies and stuff are tasty, let me tell you. It takes a lot of focus. It does, for me too. And it's really hard. It doesn't get easier when you have less time. So really struggle to take care of myself and everything else. So yeah, I have a routine and that helps me. So it becomes like a habit. Just sort of, this is what I do every day. Yeah. So that might help you too. Sort of remember to do stuff. Perception is not separate from our bodies. Our neurology is our physiology. Our consciousness lives in the permeable membrane of our mucosae, in the intricate wiring of our nervous system, in the sensitive map of our fasciae. Oh my gosh. Which means that our everyday interactions with the herbs can seep into our dreams, changing the way we speak, heal long-standing illnesses as well as new wounds, and forever alter how we interact with the natural world and those of our own species. As herbalists, we are not utilizing innate objects, but rather communicating with life forms far older than we. We are not simply pulling free pharmaceuticals from the landscapes. We are interacting with those other than human creatures that we are bound in to in every day. From the very air we breathe, to the food we eat, to the way we consciously or unconsciously alter our bodies and minds, plants underpin every aspect of our life as humans on Earth. I like when she talks about plants, but I also like when she talks about things like this. So, we're on page 142. For the first time, I tasted a drop of baneberry root, a local mountain plant that is closely related to the much better known black cohosh. I felt my heart speed up, my face flush, and my breath catch in my throat. There was that brief instance where all the colors in my vision shifted spectrums, and everything will light up like a swamp candle, like the otherworldly lights that flick across still water just past dark. Just past that ripple in my psyche was the acrid burn that I felt begin in my gut and creep outward, as if waking up some sleeping piece of myself and allowing for movement in a paralyzed part of my body. This brief yet valid experience was the beginning of being able to heal a chronic dermal linear ulcer that I've been previously unable to address with more conventional herbs or pharmaceutical means. Magical combination, yeah. So, you know, I think not only like have we sort of, or our society, or, whatever, capitalism, whatever you want to call it, the world we live in, seeks to sort of sever that connection between us and the plants. It sort of seeks to sever that connection between us and our bodies. And that just reminded me of that when she's describing how this one herb made her feel. And in herb school, we do that. We take a little drop of tincture, to see what it tastes like, to see how it feels. And I think that is a very important part to remember and not forget. And that, and then this is another experience of hers. And then there was a moment I chewed a fragile, transparent slice of yellow pond lily rhizome, still wet from the still frigid waters of the mountain water I've taken it from. The sensation of the insistent searing heat in my body suddenly swaying away like footprints being stolen by the tide. It happened so quickly, I wondered if I only imagined pain. The sudden absence of intense and ongoing pain is a mind-altering experience, in and of itself, of course. But this plant offers more than moist, cooling relief from internal flames. It also draws energy and consciousness back down deep. When your fire has lit up your head and your heart to the point where even the ashes incinerate into insomnia, racing heart and hearing voices there, Pond Lily can cool the fire, but also bring the energy of the body back down to its core, drawing it back to the womb, kidneys, and general pelvic area to allow the reunion of the elements we are made up of. Ooh, Pond Lily. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one. I mean, I've heard of it, but like, can't say I've used it. I don't think there's too much pond lily around here for me to find, but you know, we have more rivers here, so looks like we're gonna finish this today, and then I'll probably wrap up. So we get to learn about mullein next time, so that'll be cool. It's way past mullein season. And this book club's going to go even slower now that it's not even every week. We only can do what we can do, people. She's describing visceral physical reactions to these plants. Yeah. Yeah. You know, much. Yeah. It's, you know, I feel, you know, like the oat, like when I took the oat tincture, I'm like, hey, I was realizing that I felt so much more different afterwards. A lot of times I don't have this much of intense reaction that she's had, although I haven't had the plants that she's described. So, but yes, yeah. I think it's important in herbalism and also in life to understand how things make you feel. Yeah. So to speak the plant's actions is a more straightforward way to be reminded that so this is the pond lily exceeds at restoring fertility where excess heat and fluid deficiency are an issue. Can also correct excess heat in the blood, especially when anxiety, overthinking, and hyper-focusing have caused fiery irritation in the gut, especially in the small intestine, bladder, nervous system, heart, and lungs. Lessons like these have taught me to never underestimate the profound power of working with plants, not just as powerful phytochemicals, but as allies in a process beyond my own understanding, infinitely mysterious, but somehow still accessible through the perceptual process of our sensate bodies. Reaching into the dark seas of my own mind, I'm reminded of the flowers I sought so obsessively as a child. Even now, I'm still working out the particular patterns of light and sensation that show me where I am rooted to person and plant as an herbalist, that illuminate deep water with staple and seed pod, giving me a map back to the waking world from my divergent dreams so I can bridge the here and there with the healing of the herbs. Right, so she's discussing like this idea that I was talking about as an herbal matchmaker as like a bridge. So you're like this connection. You connect the people and the plants. And that's 143, and that is the end of this chapter. So, and we're gonna stop there. I'm keeping book club to just an hour, which I think is plenty of time. So, I think thanks everyone for coming. And let's see. So we're actually not going to meet again this month because Christmas is the 4th Friday. So, gosh, we're almost going to have like a month break. So the 8th, I think, is the next. Let's see. 2nd. Yeah. Wait, no. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Wait, the 11th. Oh my, wait, I went to November. Hold. All right, so it's the 2nd and 4th. So it would be. It looks like the 8th and the 22nd, but I will put up a post. Oh, yes, that's right. So I'll put up a post. I think it's the 8th and the 22nd of January. So it's the 2nd and 4th Friday at, I think, 1, if that works out for everybody, and everything. And oh, you guys. So unfortunately, we will not finish this book this year, but we'll finish it next year. So, and I mean, it's my big possibility. I can do a section a week and can just speed through the rest and think about it, our new book, because it takes about a year to do a book. It really does. I mean, not that anyone's in a hurry, because we're just not. So, I mean, I'm not. I don't know if anyone else is, but the point is to go slow. So it's to do what, it's to do it, but do it at the pace that, like, maybe I can do it. And I'm glad you guys are here to, go this pace with me. And, you just can pop in this very low bar. Half the time I don't read the section beforehand, although I like to have questions and things for people, but it's set up where if I can't, I don't have to. So we just experience it together at the same time. So guys, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. And yeah, I'll put up a post in the book, the Facebook group when we're meeting next, and also on the YouTube. So sign up for the Facebook group if you want to keep up to date on when we're having book club, and to vote on when we have a next book coming out. We'll vote on books. I'll take suggestions. So yes, Merry Yule. Yes. We've got Yule and Christmas and New Year's and Hanukkah and all the things. Kwanzaa. It's all together. So I hope you guys have a good day, good weekend, and thank you, Heather. That's the link. I put the link to the Facebook group up. So and hopefully this will be our regular schedule. And it's not as much as it was, but at least it can still meet. So get some rest. I will, Heather. I will. Yeah. So anyway. Bye. Bye.